reason number 33 to get a Nissan. The cold. Because winter isn't done with us yet. Good thing the 2026 Nissan Rogue was built to conquer all conditions. With intelligent all-wheel drive, standard heated front seats, heated steering wheel, and heated mirrors, you can leave the worst of winter out in the cold. Lease the 2026 Nissan Rogue S starting at 0.4% for up to 36 months. Includes a 0.5% loyalty rebate for qualifying Nissan customers. Until March 2nd on approved credit. Conditions apply. Details at Nissan.
Robin Flynn sitting in for Elias Makos. There's a new phenomenon for parents to worry about in 2025, as if we need something else. Sephora Kids. More and more preteens are asking for expensive skincare products. You may have noticed on your kids' holiday wish list that they were asking for Drunk Elephant products and The Ordinary and retinol and all these kinds of things. Some of the products that they're asking for, though, can actually do damage to their skin because they're still growing, they're still developing, and their skin is immature. Now, how should you handle this as a parent? Do 10-year-olds even need skincare? Joining us now to discuss is Dr. Tamara Souls. She's a psychologist and member of the Order of Psychologists of Quebec. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Souls. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Robin.
Now, fortunately, my daughter is not quite 3, so I haven't had to worry just yet. Her wish list included things like Peppa Pig and Cocomelon. I didn't have to worry about heading to Sephora, but I have friends who have kids who are 9, 10, 11 years old, sort of that preteen age group, and they are asking for these expensive skincare products, which is wild to me. So, obviously some of these products, beyond being very, very expensive, can actually have a negative impact on preteens' developing skin because they're not fully baked. They're not done growing yet, right?
That's exactly right. So I have an 11-year-old daughter myself, and thankfully we've avoided it, but I know that it exists in that age group quite a bit, and it's astonishing. And yes, it's absolutely potentially harmful to their skin, but also harmful to their emotional development because it's setting a standard of beauty that we're imposing on young kids and these influencers that are talking about what kind of products you need for your skin when the reality is those kids don't need anything on their skin.
Exactly. When I was a kid, I remember very clearly when I was, 11, 12 years old, using that god-awful St. Ives apricot scrub, which I'm sure removed several layers of my skin on my face. But honestly, all you need is a gentle cleanser, like a CeraVe or something like that, to wash your face in the morning and night, and something with SPF, right? You want to be throwing some sunscreen on there. As somebody who just recently had a chunk of melanoma removed from my arm, you definitely want to be wearing your sunscreen.
Yes, it's one thing to teach our children to take care of our skin, but the beauty industry is giving a whole host of other messages. So certainly, again, when we have tweens and teens thinking about anti-aging products, we have gone too far in one direction. So the challenge is also making sure that kids feel confident in their skin, literally and figuratively, and not using beauty products as a status symbol or as something that they feel is necessary in order to put on their most beautiful face, so to speak.
I feel like it's more common for kids to have uniforms at school compared to when I was a kid. Like even I went to public school. Public schools didn't have uniforms when I was a kid. But now a lot of public schools do. And part of the reason for that was eliminating that status symbol, the kids wearing the fancy name brand clothes and the kids who shopped at Walmart, for example.
That's right.
But I wonder if, this is part of that kids will always find a way to find something that is a status symbol, whether it's, I use expensive, Tatcha creams and Drunk Elephant cleansers or what have you. But do you think maybe there is an element of that it's sort of keeping up with the Joneses at school?
Oh, absolutely. It's more of a keeping up with the Kardashians, I think. And there is a status symbol that is coming with some of these very expensive products. And it's, whether it's the Stanley cups that become the thing that the kids want, or it's Lululemon, and now it's just branched into skincare. And so I'm older than you, so gone are the days of the Noxzema cold cream that we used as teens, and they're looking at people like North Kardashian and the products that she's using on TikTok. And it is becoming a status symbol. And again, it's putting more peer pressure on kids to fit in and to use certain things and to look a certain way.
I think it's also important to talk to your kids about the stuff that they're seeing on social media. I was part of a webinar a few months ago, Dr. Souls, where we spoke about social media because, by day when I'm not filling in on the radio, that's what I do. I'm a social media strategist. And I had another psychologist who works with teenagers on to talk about how to handle social media with your kids, because I know there are some parents who would rather just ban it altogether. Don't let my kids have a phone. And I'm of the controversial mind that perhaps that's not the best approach, because then you just don't know about the social media accounts that your child has. So I would rather teach my child, when I eventually get there, like I said, she's only 3, how to think critically about the media that she's consuming. I'd like to be able to watch, I see these videos on TikTok of these 10 and 11-year-old girls doing their skincare routines and say, that's actually something that's more for mommy's age group. That's actually something that maybe grandma would like to use, or Nana. Yes. I think maybe it's important to just have those critical conversations with your kids rather than just grab that list and head to Sephora and buy your child everything on it. That's probably 100%. Not the best approach, right?
That's right. I mean, there definitely doesn't have to be a binary response to this. It's not all or nothing. So even, for example, my children don't have access to social media other than what I show them or maybe what they see with friends. But we do have these conversations, and I have these conversations with my clients regularly, in the same way that we should be talking about all kinds of difficult topics like sex and substance use that are multiple conversations that we have over time. We should be laying the foundation for these difficult situations and circumstances far sooner than they're actually meant to face them. So yes, ultimately banning something forever is not a helpful exercise. We need to equip them with, as you said perfectly, the critical thinking skills to be able to look at a video and say, okay, what do I know about this? What could be behind this? Are they paid to promote this? Are they using filters? Be able to use that critical thinking to decide what's right for them. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that having a conversation around it means, therefore, that our young kids can have unfettered access to it either. So it's definitely a nuanced approach, but those conversations are exactly necessary, as you said.
And there's ways to do skincare, obviously, in a way that is appropriate for your child. Now, obviously, washing your face is something we should all be doing, right? So I think maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the psychologist, but I feel like if I was in this situation, I would probably bring my daughter with me to Sephora, because part of it is that fun experience, because let's face it, we love shopping and looking at all the pretty colors and just looking at the different products and finding things that are appropriate for her age. There are people who work there who can say, these are the kinds of things that you should be using. And then you get those cute little fluffy headbands that they can use to push their hair back, and make it a routine that you do with your daughter every night. Still make it fun. Don't say, you can't have skincare altogether. I just feel like in general, when we tell kids they can't do something, it just makes them want it more.
Yes. I mean, my daughter is used to me, who has very pale, sensitive, and reactive skin. She knows that I have to be very, very conscious of the ingredients that I put on my skin. So she's kind of already immersed in that. And so one of the things I also caution parents is that sometimes this so-called kid makeup isn't actually regulated and isn't necessarily better for kids. So, things from, a discount store that says kid pretend makeup isn't necessarily better. But your suggestion of being able to understand ingredients and go in and maybe pick out a lip gloss that has clean ingredients or something that they might enjoy and helps them put on occasionally, as I often refer to makeup as just dressing up. It's something that we might feel like doing every once in a while. It's not something that we need to make us feel beautiful, but it's something fun. And so they can be a part of that as long as they are aware and conscious consumers.
Absolutely. Dr. Tamara Souls, psychologist, member of the Order of Psychologists of Quebec. Thank you so much for being here. It was great chatting with you.
It was lovely to chat with you, Robin.